Guys, this episode is so good. So many people are just dreamers, but not you. You're going to take the dream that you're so excited about, the story of your life, and you're going to make it reality. I'm going to teach you, and Jerremy is going to teach you, how you can back your way into living everything you've ever wanted to. Stay tuned.
In the last episode, we promised greatness, Miss Britney Turner. We said, this is the one. Be here, be now. Why? What are we talking about in this episode that's so amazing?
Nobody is designing their life. And we happen to have come up with some pretty neat old tricks.
A formula, if you will.
Some amazing hacks.
Maybe a trick or two.
A little spreadsheet-a-roo. How to get this stuff organized.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are unhappy halfway through their life because they're like, I'm not where I want to be. It's like, well, did you really take the steps to get to where you want to be? This mystery location that's not even defined? Like,
yeah.
You're just this cycle of unhappiness.
Okay.
So many people like that. And that's not going to be you guys.
No.
Because you're going to take the time to design your life.
You're doing it right now. Design your lifestyle. We're about to give you the formula. Brittany's going to walk you through what she has done for a very long time, helped so many people with.
My secret weapon.
Breakthrough after breakthrough, tears after tears, but maps of sheer inspiration.
You can apply this to anything.
Anything you want. Relationships, achievement, wealth, lifestyle, health. In fact, we're going to cover all of those in the next few episodes.
Absolutely. All right, so here's how to do it.
Okay.
Sharpen your pencils. Or whatever you're writing with.
Can I have a pen? Is that okay?
Pen
works.
iPhone. Write this down. Okay. So we got to start with writing your eulogy.
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody's done that. Surely.
Surely. Yeah.
All right. Summarize that thing down for yourself into one word. Purpose of my life is to blank.
Mm-hmm.
What's that recurring theme that's happening in your eulogy? But then, instead of just being a dreamer that's got this beautiful picture of the end of their life, how do we actually get there?
Yep.
So depending on your age, you look at that long-term vision of your life and you back it up and say, all right, if I want that to be true at the end, what has to be true in the next 20 years? How will I know that I'm on track?
Yep.
So if you want to develop 13 nations, then in 20 years, maybe I will have done 5,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Once you've come up with how to make the long-term story true, where you need to be in 20 years in certain categories, then you got to say, where should I be in 5 years to be on track with my 20-year? So you're no longer looking at the long term. And then from 5 years, you say, well, in order to be on track with 5, how can I know I'm on track in the next 1 year? What all has to be in place? Well, to be on track with my 1-year goal, what do I have to do over the next quarter to be on track with that? What do I have to start doing in that quarter? And then what do I have to stop doing over the next quarter? What long-term has the power to ruin everything if I don't drop it now? Could be habits, could be people, could be eating, the way you eat, the way you sleep, could be procrastination, could be not returning email. What is the thing that could ruin everything that you're on track to do? And don't try to conquer everything in one quarter. Just pick one.
Yeah.
In previous episodes, we talked about getting 1% closer to where you want to be every day. How can we drop one limiting thing in our life every quarter? So,
wow.
If I want to develop nations in my lifetime, that's going to be my achievement.
Okay.
Right? That is my achievement.
Yep.
Well, in 20 years, maybe if I want to do 13 in my lifetime, 20 years I should have done 3 to 5. I'll pick one. Let's pick 5. All right? In the next 1 year, I should pick to at least be working on one.
Yep.
Let's say it's the British Virgin Islands.
Yep.
It's a great practice place.
Say that.
What has to happen in the next 90 days to be working on helping to develop the British Virgin Islands? Well, I could probably tap into G-Force and start a entrepreneurship program and have a microloan system because people are donating to that stuff all the time. How can we help little businesses get off the ground?
Yeah.
Because if we want to develop a nation, that means we're building out opportunities for people to pull themselves up, have more pillars to where poverty isn't a thing. There's poverty everywhere. But if I want to develop nations, we have to eliminate poverty. How do we do that? Jobs. Jobs can eliminate poverty. And so how do we bring in more jobs? Let's tap into G-Force. All right, so over the next 90 days, I'm reaching out to different G-Force members I know could start programs in the BVI. And I have to get rights to help them come in.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have to stop doing? I have to stop posting only workout pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I want to develop nations, then my target audience would be leaders of nations.
Yep.
And if I don't want to be known as the workout girl only, then I should probably mix it up with me doing work in developing nations, meeting with other leaders, talking about how you can create transformative impact quickly. So literally, my eulogy drives my posts.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Did you just map out that whole thing for people?
That's one goal.
I hope they were taking notes.
I sound crazy. Oh, she wants to develop nations. Which is just, you can do it.
Sure you can.
Obviously, that goal requires a lot of detail, but I'll know I'm on track. Do you think in 20 years, I'm 32 right now,
Mm-hmm.
20 years at 52, I've already done 5. You think I'm on track to doing 13 if by then I've really learned how to do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Have the network to do it?
Yep. Precisely.
Got the brand to do it? Of course.
Precisely.
So make sure your goals really get you to where you want to be, because that drives whether or not everything coming at you is an opportunity or a distraction. And for that season.
Yes. I have a question that I think I know the answer to.
What?
Why 13?
That's the number that came to me, but I also love that number. And if you put the 1 and 3 together, it makes a B. I don't know.
Yes, that's what I was
Super
hoping.
scientific, guys.
That's what I was hoping the answer. But here's why I love that so much, because I work with people all the time, especially engineers, with stocks and charts. And they're like, Jerremy, how did you come up with this exact thing? And I'm like, would it surprise you to know that I just picked a number and just went with it for a little bit? So in essence, don't overcomplicate it. Dream, have something that's a little scary, because initially 13 sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot more than 2. All right, 2, I can do 2, but 13's like, oh, can I do that many?
Yeah.
That's a little scary. So pick something a little scary, but also don't worry about it too much. Come up with a number, pick it, and for whatever particular reason, if God speaks to you, if you're meditating, if it's a number that you see on a page right in front of you, you're like, there's 7. Okay, cool, pick 7, go. But anyway, it's the smallest nuance, but I want people to make sure that they realize they can rewind this episode as many times as they want, handwrite down what you just said, and reverse engineer so many aspects of their life, so many outrageously, ostentatiously, incredibly impactful goals that they can have. They can just do what you just did.
With anything.
With anything.
How do you back your way into where you want to go? I mean, we do it all the time when we're charting a sailing trip.
Yeah.
We do it all the time when we're trying to go to the store and we're using a GPS to get there.
Yeah.
So why is your goals and your life and the vision for where you want to be and who you want to be any different?
Yeah. And that's the purpose of Broke to Woke, Britney.
You said something absolutely profound just now. I don't want people to miss it. You said, how did you come up with that number? And I gave you the kooky answer of put the 1 and the 3 together and it makes a B. So have you ever heard the saying, God won't give you something you can't handle? Have you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you believe that?
In essence.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reality is he will never give you something so bad you can't handle it. But he also would never give you something so good. So if you were called to be the one that cures cancer, but you never studied the medical field whatsoever, then if he gave you that solution, you got the download and you didn't know how to process it because you didn't put in any work or education to actually be able to get it off the ground, you got to have that on you. You were given that gift and you did nothing with it. Then you're accountable. I don't know how it all works exactly, but I can say, I don't think you'd be very happy the rest of your life knowing you're holding on to this great gift, but you'd never put in the work to be there. So if you are going to be given this amazing calling, he's only going to give you one piece of the puzzle at a time, which means you don't know the full story. So when we write our eulogy, we update it every year.
Yep.
And when we write the kind of backing into your goals that I'm talking about, we update the 90-day section every quarter because you learn something new. How much smarter are you today than you were yesterday? I mean, you've been hanging out with me for 24 hours. So
I feel smarter for some reason.
Profound.
I feel so much smarter than yesterday.
Level. But you know more today.
Yep.
You've got new thought patterns,
Yep.
new information. So in 1 year, your eulogy, you may be able to add cool new pieces because we've hung out for a whole nother year.
Mm-hmm.
So you've learned more, you want to be more, you can be more, you've learned you're going to be more. So don't get stressed out and don't ever get lost in the perfectionizing of things because you're at least going in the direction of what you really want to do. I want to serve. You want to love. I want to serve at the highest level. This is my best guess at what that looks like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Your best guess. Just go, guys. And that was profound for me, Britt, because so many people I know and I work with on a daily basis get stopped by that because they're like, well, I don't know the details. Like, just do it, dude. It's okay. Take the step, man. No one knows.
I've seen more women just try to be perfect and everything's under control and there's this perfect little bubble to get everything and you have to know everything or else you can't talk at all. And it's like, God, just try. Just go for it.
Yeah.
And I think this is a season for that. But I want to hear from you.
Okay.
All right, let's go through how would you do what we just talked about, but in a relationship.
Okay. So in a relationship, a lot of people, again, you want to start with you might feel like you want to start with the 90 days, but let's go big picture because that's going to be scary, right? So in a relationship, we'll use me personally. So in 20 years, I want to have a vibrant, healthy, sexual, fun, passionate, rich, amazing, and wealthy relationship with my wife, Svetlana. We're going to have numerous children, right? At least 2. And we're going to be world changers, world leaders, people that impact nations and specifically help you with your 13 nations and with your dreams and your goals.
Yay!
Right?
I made it to the plan.
So that's in 20 years. Okay. So in 5 years, what do I know that needs to happen to make that true? It's like, okay, well, we're going to need 2 children. Right. Yep. So you can figure that out. Like if that's part of it.
What if it's some work?
What if it's going to be tough, but I'll figure it out.
Will you?
I'll do my best. But that's in 5 years. But again, it could be more than 2. Could some of those things change? Yes. Right. Remember, guys, don't stress about the perfection. Don't stress about the massive, insanely intense details. Get a general picture. But you'll notice in there that I mentioned world leaders. That means I'm going to have to meet some people who are currently world leaders.
So you don't just wake up a world leader?
Yeah, apparently not. No.
These people didn't get lucky to make it there?
They were there. So in 5 years, like, do I know? How many people can I know? I can write out a number. I can say, do I know 4? Do I know 5? How many people, how many stages have I spoken on? How many councils have I been a part of? How many boardroom meetings have I been in? How many owners of companies have I met? Like, you can write those numbers down. You can have very, very specifics. And then in 1 year, what do I need to be doing in the next year? So a year from today, and this filming, we'll probably be back on where you are, where you and your husband, you and your fiance, me and my wife, me and Svetlana, we're going to all be around each other. So in a year from now, what does that look like? Where are we at? Where are we located? What are we doing? We can all write these things out, right? Have we written a book together? Have we done courses together? Have we done some type of podcast together, some type of statement work? Have we poured into other people? Have we been a part of your mission trips, right? Have we done aerial recovery groups with you, which we will absolutely be doing.
Yay.
So having all those things, right, we can come up with those. And so the 90 days, right? In the next 90 days, what can I do? And the fun part is, and we've done this obviously many times, but the stop doing, like what should I need to do right now? Like what can I stop doing?
Yeah, what are you doing right now
in this relationship?
That is possibly annoying.
And I asked her, and she just smiled. She's like, "Babe, the way you eat annoys me." I was like, "What? What are you talking about? The way I eat annoys you?" She's like, "Well,
you do that a lot.
You lick your fingers."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, do I?" Like I didn't notice it.
I'll tell you that. You definitely do.
I did.
I noticed. I'm a witness.
So I am working on stopping it. Meaning I've used knife and forks more, right, as I eat my food. And I try not to lick my fingers. So I use napkins more since they're there at the table. I know it sounds really weird, but it's the smallest of nuances, like learning to try, learning to care, and doing certain things. And in 90 days, if I do my absolute best and I can complete that task, Let me ask you a question, Brittany. Do you think that there'll be something else on that list that'll pop up that she'll be annoyed at by me, so I should probably stop doing it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But do you do that? Do you stop doing it because she's a controlling, horrible person? Or do you do that because you care to have a beautiful, loving relationship with the person that you adore and want a future with?
Exactly. It's the end sight. It's the end goal. It's like, this is makes me a better person. And you're pulled by that rather than pushed by, oh, she's controlling me, she's making me do all these things.
Well, that's what love is, though. So that's the difference. I want everybody to really hear what Jeremy's saying.
Yeah.
Jeremy's excited to use a fork and a knife versus licking his gross fingers.
I'm a gross person when I eat.
No,
apparently.
just that
I'm a
one
barbarian.
thing. But he's excited to do it because he has a vision of the future with his wife.
Yep.
And that vision is more exciting than his go-to 32 years of licking his fingers. He's willing to overcome this habit because he loves her. Now that's practical. That is practical. Now she's not coming up with lists of ways to quote unquote fix him. He actually asked her,
Right.
How can I become someone that you stay in love with? Is there anything I'm doing that could slightly annoy you? And she gets to pick one a quarter.
Exactly.
Which is so nice.
Yeah, just you have one every 90 days, babe. You can't list the whole thing now. But again,
it's actually fun. You make it fun.
It is because maybe a year down the road, she could be like, hey, I want you to read more books, or I want you to pray with me over dinner. Or it could be like the tiniest things, like when you eat ice cream, can you close the lid at the exact same time and put it back in the freezer rather than leaving it out on the counter? It could be the tiniest things will just slowly creep up.
It's the dumb things that ruin everything.
Yeah.
It's the leaving your toothbrush on the counter and the underwear in the middle of the floor that make people feel it's not even that they're crazy. It's that you don't care about me enough to do the little things. So how dare you want a lifelong of a life of all of my time.
Yeah. And relationships, a lot of it too is just reciprocating what you're thinking in your mind and saying it out loud, and then exchanging this interaction, making sure that happens very, very frequently, and just doing it over and over and over. And this is with relationships. We want to talk about achievements like you did, and we want to talk about wealth. We want to talk about lifestyle and health and what that looks like. And we want to go through other examples and other real life stories, things that you and I are striving.
A couple of fun tickers for you when you're filling out your long-term vision.
Okay.
So I want you to write down, what do I want my long-term vision, my 20-year vision, or my 5, where you feel like starting out with, what's that relationship with God look like? Mm-hmm. What's that relationship with my significant other look like? What's not, we're happy. Oh my gosh. If you can't, if you have to pay me $1,000 if you can't mark that off, that's how clear it needs to be. Mm-hmm. So if you can't prove to me that actually happened, then you owe me $1,000. Mm-hmm. I'll put it to a good cause. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But so we've got God, we've got significant other, immediate family / kids, friends, network. Those are some good things to think through in the relationships category.
Yeah.
And then you copy and paste your goal in those categories down one box.
So what you're saying is you have relationships with all of them.
Mm-hmm. What are those relationships? What's the definition? So if I asked you, who do you want to be friends with in 20 years? Mm-hmm. And why? Mm-hmm. If it's Elon Musk, if it's other great people. So it can either be a specific name of someone, which is crazy when you do that because they come into your life so fast.
It's wild.
Or what kinds of people? People who live as a force for good. People who are helping end environmental issues. Whatever the thing is. Like if those are my friends, and these are the kinds of things we talk about. Great minds talk about ideas, average minds talk about events, and peasant minds talk about people. I want friends that talk about ideas. Mm-hmm. How often do you and I talk crap about people?
Never.
How often do we come up with genius ideas?
Way too often.
It's amazing. So I want friends in my life. My friends, this is how I define a friend. My friends have these filters.
Yeah.
You got to have filters for everything. All right. So anyway, that's the relationship box.
Oh, it's a good box, though.
Achievement box. All right. What do you want to be achieving in the next 20 years? Again, start there. So you're looking at your eulogy, and if it says that you are an amazing author or speaker, or you made movies or YouTube videos or whatever that legacy thing is, Be it that you built a community or you won a Nobel Peace Prize. Put that in there. All the different things, be it a follower count, whatever is important to you and keeps you on track. Like, if your entire vision was to build an army that went out and did Force for Good projects all over the world, whenever you called them, you had 50 people show up with resources and talent, then you need to be building that community. You need to be training them. They need to be able to respond. You need to be getting those projects. So what is that number in 20 years? And then how do we start building that community today? There's all kind of really fun things in there. So those are just things to think through in the achievements box. And in the next episode, we are going to talk about what's your lifestyle like?
Yeah.
What's your health like? And what is your wealth like?
Ooh, we're going to get into details on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are. Stay tuned.
Let's
you
go.
are not going to want to miss this.
If you keep hearing us talking about these impact trips where we're going and changing lives, delivering disaster response, we're helping to end human trafficking, we're building out these financial education programs to help people locally and globally be able to build themselves up, pull themselves up with dignity, and stand on their own 2 feet and be able to provide for themselves and their family. If you want to get involved in our Give Back initiatives, go to broketowoke.com and pick which one aligns best with you.